I took his card. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel like I have done a lot this past year. The past 2 years, especially. I moved halfway across the country to a place I barely knew. I left all my friends, all my family behind. And the first fucking morning, I woke up to the deadliest snowstorm Texas had had in decades. I had no water. I had no power. I had no food. Like, of course, right? Of course. And so I figured out how to live. I figured out how to live on my own. I figured out how to live with friends, with other people. Since then, I've leased cars. I've leased apartments. I've leased houses. I've moved 5 times since I started living here. I've started companies. I've grown companies. And most importantly, I've met some pretty amazing people. And I feel like I have a better sense of how to actually do this shit. It is night and day when I think about the kid who started this channel and the guy who's talking to you right now. I mean, I truth be told, I feel like I've done more living in these past couple of years than I ever have in like the 2 decades that came before it. But I realized that the more that you do live, the more you realize how much more there is to live and to learn. And so, even today, I wonder if I could do this channel right. And I don't know if that feeling is ever going to go away, but I do think that me acknowledging it is the first step towards having something meaningful. If you want me to be real, I think the only thing I'm truly like 100% qualified to talk about is YouTube. I know my way around the algorithm, I know where to put the red circles to get more views. I know how to do the intros. Like I know that shit inside and out. But that's only after like a decade of it being all I thought about at all times. And trying whatever I could to become a YouTuber. I'm like the septic guy, but instead of pumping shit, that was a bad comparison because I do just kind of pump shit out there. You get what I'm saying, right? And only after coming to that realization did I really begin to understand this channel's place. This is not going to be a one-stop shop for how to live life. I'm not going to pretend to talk about things I don't know about. We got septic guys for a reason. I got the number in my wallet now, But I'm going to keep going because I think I can be helpful. But I think you and me should both know that I'm a 23-year-old college dropout who still kind of doesn't know how to cook. Thank you, boys, for watching, and I'll see you soon.
My boss texted to pick up these gift cards and send them the PIN numbers.
How's it going, boys? My name is Schlatt, and welcome back to the Weekly Slap. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you spent some time with the family. I am currently at home watching Jambo lose his mind trying to figure out what the hell a Christmas tree is. Because, I put mine up the day after Halloween. I mean, I'm not even going to lie. I'm a festive guy. I don't know what to say. Anyways, we're going to talk today about the notion of self-improvement. Getting better at stuff. Whether that's picking up a new skill or working on your mental or anything, really. I mean, someone sent this question to me not too long ago. And straight to the point, he just said, how do I achieve a goal that seems almost impossible when you try so hard and nothing comes out of it? He could be talking about anything here. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to lose weight, get buff. Maybe he's trying to start a business. Maybe he's trying to fix his sleep schedule, which I'd consider the hardest on that list, given the fact that it is 3 a.m. and I just recently woke up. Whatever it is, it's a goal, right? It's a goal that you set for yourself that seems far away. Macro, like wide scale, it motivates you and it makes you want to work towards it and like get excited about having achieved it. But the micro, the day by day of it all, it's tough to see much improvement. Sometimes it's hard to see any at all. The biggest goals we set for ourselves are always going to be the ones that seem the farthest away or like the most impossible to actually do, right? In my case, that was becoming a YouTuber. Cliche, jschlatt talking about being a YouTuber. Suck my dick. Everybody wants to be a YouTuber, right? Nobody actually gets there, because it's very easy to think about starting a channel, to edit the first video and to feel like you're on your way. That's what I thought it would be like too back in the day, back over like a decade ago when I started watching these guys for the first time, like Freddie W and Quarter Digital, and I watched those cool ass videos and was like, holy shit, this is what I want to do. This is cool as fuck. I didn't even know these guys were making money. Honestly, I'm not even sure you could at that time, but that's what I wanted. And I actually have a whole video on this channel talking about that process and how long it took and how dedicated I was into turning that dream into a reality. And I pretty much had no results for years and years and years until everything changed. And like I went from making no money to making some money to quitting my part-time job to spend more time on YouTube, and then quitting my other part-time job, and then just dropping out to do it full-time. And that happened in the span of a year. And the reality of the situation isn't that I was like working harder than I was back in the day when I wasn't all that successful. I was already eating, sleeping, and shitting YouTube. You know, the Jinx grind. You know what I'm saying? It was already all I was doing. I didn't bother myself with hanging out with friends or like getting a girlfriend or any of that dumb shit, you know? I was like one of those TikTok dropshippers who just lives the most miserable life on the planet because they're making like, $50 selling Alibaba products, but that's like the coolest thing in the world. Getting off track. What really happened once I started succeeding on YouTube is that I just reached the point where my hard work started paying off. And there's a great way of looking at it that I read about recently in a book called Atomic Habits. And it has to do with enacting big change in your life, whatever that may be. When you're committed to something and you're working towards it every day, you got to think of what you want, like an ice cube in a cold room. You start out and it's really cold in the room. It's like 25 degrees Fahrenheit, because Fahrenheit is the only logical way to measure temperature, but that's a video for another time. It's 25 degrees in the room. You really want this ice cube to melt. You really want it to melt. You want to start blowing up on YouTube. You want to get absolutely yoked, you know? You want to get your finances in order. You want the ice cube to melt. That is your goal. And so what do? You start heating it up. And gradually, the temperature in the room, it starts to rise. It goes from 25 to 26, maybe 27, maybe even 28, you know? It's going up consistently. You're going to the gym every day, or you're dollar cost averaging into the stock market. Whatever you're doing it consistently to achieve this goal. And the temperature in the room going up is the work you're putting in. It's 29 degrees now. It's 30, and you're heating this room up, but the ice cube is still there until it hits 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And just like that, the ice cube melts out of nowhere. 1 second it was ice, and now it's just a fucking puddle. And what tends to happen is that people on the outside looking in see that ice cube one day, and then they see the puddle the next, and they think, oh, that was lucky. Or like, they'll look at that. It was like an overnight success, right? Everything changed just like that. But what they didn't see was that the temperature in the room started at fucking 25 degrees. And they didn't watch it go up from 25 to 26 to 27, all the way up to 31 before anything noticeable happened. And I'm going to quote directly from the book. I got it right here. Complaining about not achieving success despite working hard is like complaining about an ice cube not melting when you heated it from 25 to 31 degrees. Your work was not wasted, it is being stored. All the action happens at 32 degrees. All of a sudden, you just start to see a little bit of definition in your arms, or you get your first sale, or your crappy meme about Elon Musk blows up and gets 20 million views, and people start to notice. But what they don't see is the temperature in the room go from 25 all the way up to 32. What they didn't see was the ugly, the years worth of videos that fell flat, that sucked. They didn't see the constant improvement and learning and growth that led you to where you are now. They only saw the ice cube one day and a puddle the next. And boys, it's not the luck that got it there. I'm not saying it's a completely level playing field, right? Like whatever room you're trying to warm up, and this is a really meta, like weird way of thinking about it, but like whatever room you're trying to warm up could be way colder than 25 degrees. You could be starting at like 20. Hell, you could be starting at 31, right? The odds could be in your favor. That's where I think the luck is. But the biggest mistake I think you can make is to want something really, really bad and then commit to make it happen, and then complain about the ice not melting, even when you can feel it getting warmer. Again, the book is called Atomic Habits. I would wholeheartedly recommend you guys check it out. It's helped put a lot of things into perspective for me, and I hope this video gave you a little something to munch on. I'm not sure if I explained the metaphor all too well, but if I did, then think about where it applies. What is something that you are working towards, that you want really badly? And ask yourself if you're thinking about it the right way. Anyways, boys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.
Purdue University Global. Apply now at purdueglobal.edu.
How's it going, boys? My name is Schlatt, and welcome back to the Weekly Slap. I am smiling ear to ear right now. I'm the happiest man in the world. Today I went to my favorite place ever, the pride and joy of Texas, H-E-B, and I picked up the most delicious cut of beef jerky I've ever had. Like, just straight from the deli, too. I've been munching on it all day. My serotonin levels are through the roof, and I think the only thing that could ruin the mood I'm in right now is if I Googled what H-E-B actually stands for. Anyways, we're back with the slap. And it's the third time this week. Whenever it starts to get annoying, you guys let me know. We'll go back to the yearly uploads. But for now, I'm back. And I'm going to be reading a pretty interesting question that one of you guys sent in. I make $60,000 a year at 15. What do I do later in life? I make my money through making websites that run ads. I currently have 5 to 7 websites making money. I made $3,000 last year from YouTube. I don't want to go to college, but my mom doesn't believe in me. She thinks I should go to college and focus more on school. I'm in 10th grade, and I have about 85 in every class. I think I could become super successful without college, or even if I dropped out of school right now, but I don't know what to do. My dad supports me, but he thinks I should go to college. Any ideas? First of all, my fucking man, dude, 15 years old, and you're already pulling in more dough than most people do. When I was 15, I was not making anything. Dude, my only source of income was that deli job that I can't seem to stop talking about ever. And I'd work there for $5 an hour, and I'd spend half it on Clash of Clans gems. So, dude, you're killing it. Congrats. Like, seriously. You got a couple more years of high school, which I think you've got to do. Like, please do not drop out of high school. And then after that, you got to think about college. You're in sophomore year, a little too early to make a call like that. I started touring colleges in junior year, and then applications went in during senior year. So no biggie. This isn't like an urgent thing you got to start worrying about yet. No need to have any crazy disagreements with your parents right now. Just keep your head down. Try to do well in school. And I think the more important piece of this puzzle is try even harder to grow this business you've got. Because that is where your ticket to win it is. I dropped out of college. And obviously my success came a little later in life. I was already in college when stuff started working out. And the big question you'd ask yourself is, can you put a pause on this business you've got? I know how this works, right? These internet jobs are extremely momentum-based and extremely competitive. And so, you know, if you're not fully confident that you'll be able to grow your business in college while also, you know, being able to spend less time growing the business, because college can be pretty time-consuming, then college is probably not a good idea. Now, luckily, you got some time to think about it. You're in 10th grade. And more importantly, you've got time to prove that these websites you're making and this business you're building can can continue to be a consistent source of income for you. Because right now you're banking $60K, and if in a couple of years when those college apps need to start going in and you're not making more than you were now, that's a tough sell. Like, your parents might wind up seeing that as like a flash in the pan. Like even more reason why you need to go to college. But if you do keep it going, and by the time this conversation needs to happen, you're making more than both your parents combined, a little easier to make the case, you know? My parents were very apprehensive about me dropping out. At that point, I was 5 semesters in, with only 2 more to go because of how many credits I had. So like I was like, I could see the finish line, man. Junior year is where that curriculum started getting really hard, and a few weeks into the semester, I knew it wasn't going to work out. Something had to go. I could either try to do all these classes and do them well, which is what I needed to do if you want to get a good job out of college. I could do that, but I would have to spend a lot less time on my channel, or I could drop out and have more time to work on it. And it came down to that question of what can you afford to press pause on? I remember I sat my parents down at the dinner table, and I talked to them, like, pretty bluntly about dropping out. And the first thing my mom said was, what am I going to tell? What am I going to say? My son's a dropout? And I said, that is the silliest way of looking at it I think I've ever heard, right? Like, dude, I could keep taking classes, but I wouldn't have the time. Like, I would not have the time anymore to focus on my YouTube channel and my live stream, which was already making more money than I would have if I stuck with the degree and then got a job directly after. Like, I would still not be where I'm at right now. If I went that route, I could literally be throwing away the biggest opportunity in my life. Like this is an opportunity that most people would kill to have. And if I couldn't spend as much time as humanly possible on this, like right now, this second, I could be leaving a lot on the table. And if I stop taking classes that semester, then what? I keep all my credits? What? I go on leave of absence from the school? I could come back whenever I wanted, literally the next semester? Like nothing ever happened with some extra money in the bank from the failed YouTube job if it winds up failing, you know? Now, it was a very tough conversation. I don't think I didn't sell it to them like that. I was very logical and practical about the situation. And thankfully, they heard me out at the end. And I can tell you with 100% confidence right now that if I tried to finish out those last few semesters of college, it would have been the biggest mistake in my life. Then again, I made it. You know, for every one of me, there's way more people out there that tried to follow their dreams and it didn't work out. How many of them were making $60,000 a year at 15? I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. And I even think that I took like a pretty safe route with when I dropped out. You know, this was not like a, oh wow, I had my first stream hit 1,000 viewers or something like that, or my video really blew up today, Mom. I really gotta, you know, hit the ground running with YouTube and drop everything else. This was only after I had proven that this was going to be a consistent source of income for me, and that it made more sense to continue doing this and to put a pause on college. And that's the exact same thing that you have to prove. I think what you need to do right now is to continue to grow the business, think of ways to scale it and to outsource some of the processes so it's not just you having to do everything, because that's where the real money gets made. And then when the time comes for that conversation with your parents, think about what can wait and what can't. And one more thing, be proud of yourself. Two more things, actually. First, be proud of yourself. And second, please do something smart with that money. Do not put it all into crypto. It's not a good idea. That whole question of what should I do later in life extends way beyond college, and it has a lot to do with financial literacy and knowing what you're investing into, and making the right plays for long-term consistent growth. And yeah, dude, you're killing it. Congrats. Good luck to you. You know, I'm sorry this probably doesn't apply to most people, but it was a very a unique situation, and I just enjoyed seeing it in the inbox. So thank you guys for watching. I apologize the gameplay today was extra crappy, but it is 2022, and it is very hard to find lobbies in this game. So whatever gameplay I get.
Rise of Kingdoms PC version is out of beta. ROK is a historically based strategy game available for free on mobile and PC. It's totally cross-play.
How's it going, boys? My name is Schlatt. Welcome back to the Weekly Slap. I hope you guys are all doing well. Since we last spoke, Jambo has gone from being scared of the Christmas tree to completely, just utterly conquering it. I'm going to throw a picture up screen. Dude takes it upon himself multiple times a day now to just scale the entire thing. I don't know why he's doing it, but it is ruining the tree, and I'd really like it to stop. Hey, look, anyways, we got another message from a viewer, and they're asking about procrastination, so it's probably fitting if we just jump right into it. How can I stop unhealthy habits? I'm a freshman in high school, and I've been made fun of for a really long time. I've been struggling to make friends for a while, and I've developed really bad anxiety after quarantine, which hasn't helped. I hate talking about getting anxiety attacks, and I haven't told anyone that I've been having them. And I have this really bad habit of not being able to ask for help when I definitely need it. It's gotten to the point where I just don't want to get up anymore, dreading the day that hasn't even happened yet. My room is a mess, and I feel so unproductive, especially when procrastinating when it comes to assignments, or just laying in bed playing the same Mario Kart track over and over again, instead of giving the dog the attention or exercise he needs, and it just makes me feel disgusting in my own skin. How can I fix my procrastination problem, or just telling someone that I'm struggling, when all expectations that my parents have of me is to just suck it up? You're a big inspiration to me, man. Hope to see more content in the future. Give Jambo a pet for me when you can. Well, when he's down from the tree, I'll let him know you called. Look, I don't know. There's no easy way to say this. So the rats are going to absolutely hate this announcement. But change has to start with you. That's the way it's always been. I mean, you can have a bunch of people in your court who really care about you and really want to see you succeed. And you could have a bunch of people in your court who don't want that. And the outcome will be the same if you are not proactive about your situation. And I don't have like I'm not going to give you like a little diagnosis of like what exactly you need to do. But I can tell you, at least from my personal experience, there is a strategy that works towards feeling bad about how much work you have and your inability to get all of it done. Here's what I do. And I've talked about this at length on this channel already, but life is a game of momentum. A year ago, I used the metaphor of pushing a car up a hill. It's extremely hard to get the car moving, to start a habit or start working towards whatever you want. But once you're going, it gets easier. And the second you slip up and the car starts slipping again, starts falling back down the hill, it gets harder and harder to get it back going again. And dude, like, the best way to stop procrastinating is to just start doing shit. And I know it sounds very simple and almost tongue-in-cheek, but it's true. There's a book I read recently from a retired Navy SEAL. William McRaven is his name. It's called Make Your Bed. And it's mainly about his experience in the SEALs. Obviously, it's a very regimented, hard lifestyle. And he basically writes about all the stuff he learned there and the experiences he had that can translate into, most people's lives. And the first chapter is literally just make your bed. That's it. That is the first thing he says you should do every morning. Just think about it from a SEAL's perspective. Like, he knew he had a shit day ahead of him in training. And so he'd get up, he'd make his bed. Obviously, he had to, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure they would have made his whole, squad run a fucking marathon if he didn't. But he made his bed, and he treated that like the first victory of the day. Like, that was the first thing he did. That is what got the ball rolling. And that's what got the car moving up the hill for the day. Making your bed is this way, even in normal life where you're not a fucking Navy SEAL, you don't have to kill people, is a way to feel like you're up and ready to tackle the day and ready to be productive. Now think about how you'd feel if you just rolled out of bed. You're like, you did that thing that every guy does when he fucking hits the alarm and he just kind of sits up in the bed and stares at the floor for 10 minutes straight, just like, you just feel like shit, You can do that every morning and no one's going to be there to tell you otherwise or to force you to do anything. And that, dude, as you get older, it only becomes more of the case. Sounds a little depressing, but it just speaks to that fact that you need to be doing things. And if you start each day with just a small little win, you'll feel better about yourself. And by extension, you'll feel better about the day in front of you. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can literally just be making your bed. Because every time you see it, you'll be like, yeah, I fucking already did something today. And it sounds so stupid, but it's like a very small switch that flips every morning. And you'll just feel a little bit better. Anything at the beginning of the day that you can choose to be proactive about the second you get up will help you set the tone for a day of doing instead of a day of wishing you could do. It is insane how much more motivated I feel when I get up and I literally just put on a nice pair of pants and a t-shirt that fits nicely instead of just like a ratty graphic tee and gym shorts. I had this day a couple days ago where I just woke up and I wore the same exact thing I did yesterday. Like, I didn't even change out of it, didn't shower, nothing. I was disgusting. And no surprise, right? No surprise, I felt like shit and I didn't feel like I was capable of doing anything. And then halfway through the day, something snapped, and I was just like, fuck this. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. I showered. I put on some pants I liked, put on the t-shirt, nice pair of shoes, came out of the bathroom, and I was just like, all right, let's do some shit. I didn't even have anywhere to go. I was just wearing shoes because I felt like by wearing shoes, I feel like I'm doing something, You have to think about what your win is going to be. How about this? Maybe you'll get up and you'll walk the dog. That's the first thing you have to do in the morning. So now you're already head on your chores. You're already feeling energized from the exercise, which is probably something you don't get. No offense. I'm the same way. And then maybe you'll be sweaty from the walk, so you'll have to hop in the shower, right? And then you just get out of the shower, so you might as well find yourself a good outfit to put on. See, once you get your first W of the day, the rest kind of just fall into place, and they seem easier and easier. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of this notion of momentum carrying you throughout the day. It makes you feel better and better. And then all of a sudden, it's not you waking up and feeling like shit and then having to tackle this huge project in front of you or an assignment you keep putting off. Now it's, okay, I've already done all this shit today and I'm feeling good about myself and I feel productive and I will be productive. Like, it's crazy how much your mindset actually affects these kinds of things. Look, obviously, I'm not the perfect example of someone who has all their shit together. This stuff generally helps me for like work and productivity and getting my work for the day done. To anyone listening, I mean, what is your win? What are the small wins you give yourself every morning that make you feel like you're ready? As always, want to thank you boys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.
Earning your degree online is closer than you think. Apply today to Purdue University Global.
Babylon is now nominated for 5 Golden Globes, including Best Picture. Hell yeah! Everywhere Friday.
How's it going, boys? My name is Schlatt. Welcome back to the Weekly Slap. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you're all excited, prepping for the big day when Jesus Christ is born, and we all rejoice because that's the only thing we care about in Christmas time, isn't it? Ah, man, I love December. I love this time of the year in general. Always puts a smile on my face when the Christmas music starts coming out on the radio. People start putting their lights up, and dude, it gets a little darker, a little earlier. But I don't even mind it, man. And it's not even snowing in Texas, and it's kind of hot, and so we're kind of missing something that made it a little more special up north. But I can't be too mad about it. I mean, it is just such a jolly time. Like, dude, like I had my tree up early, and people were seeing it back in November and asking me what the hell was going on, like why I had the tree up. And mind you, I put my tree up a month early every year, and I leave it up until March with absolutely no shame. Like I can't be a little jolly. I can't be a little jolly pilled this time of year, dude. Let me enjoy it. Let people enjoy things. That's something that gets me, dude. Like where like you'd spend a month building up to the best day ever, and then next day everyone is like just taking their lights down, and the music on the radio immediately just like switches back to Dua Lipa and Ed Sheeran and Charlie Puth. It's like, dude, come on, man. At least wait till next year. At least let New Year's be fun too. You know, I don't get that. And look, while Christmas time feels a little different as you get older and as the focus shifts away from you getting gifts to you giving gifts, it still brings back all those memories for me as a kid, just enjoying the time. And I think that's what I want to talk about today. Remember way back in the day, my family would do this thing called a star chart, which was pretty much just a behavior tracker for the entire month of December. We get a star, like, put on the calendar each day for, based on how we acted. So, like, a regular day, and you get a regular red or green star. And then a good day, you get a silver one. And a great one, where you, like, help with all the chores, you went above and beyond helping, you were very nice, very kind, very charitable, you didn't fight with anybody. Gold star. Whew, love me some gold stars. But if it was a bad day, you get nothing. Literally nothing. My mom would draw in a frowny face on the calendar in Sharpie, and I'd start crying because a couple more of those and Santa wouldn't be coming. Honestly, looking back, it was some pretty serious psychological warfare my parents were waging on me. But honestly, it's kind of nice. And I would not hesitate to do it to my own kids. I mean, last year we looked back on all the star charts throughout the years, and it's just a great time. And it begs a question to you guys. You know, what are some of the things that you remember fondly about this time of the year? What are some of the traditions or the unique things that your family did that still puts a smile on your face? I'll tell you what really fucked with me one year. I was a kid. We were opening presents. It's probably like 2005. Got one of the presents I'd asked Santa for, one of those like robot dinosaur things with the remote control, and you fucking control it all around the house, and it walks and falls over every 5 steps. And I unwrapped the thing. I take it out of the box, and there was a fucking Radio Shack sticker on it. I looked at my parents, like, I pointed at it. I was like, what is this? What is this? What, St. Nick got me this? Father Christmas? Really? And my parents were like, oh, they pulled some shit like, oh, when he runs out of time, he's got to go to Radio Shack. And I was like, that's interesting. I still remember to this day, I would go back to school that January. And I told all my friends about how Santa outsources his labor to Radio Shack and Best Buy when he's running short on time. Because, hey, I mean, that's kind of how business works anyways. You know, I respect the hustle. Santa's on that grind. I know it's different for everybody. I know some of you don't even celebrate in December and don't recognize Jesus Christ as the one true Son of God. Some of you might be like that kid from the Polar Express who's like really shy and sits in the caboose the whole time and looks exactly like Purple, that Minecraft YouTuber. And Christmas just doesn't work out for you. But, dude, there's a lot of shit going on in the world these days. And I think we could all take some time to appreciate and talk about what makes this time of the year so special for you. So if it applies to you, if you're a Christmas enjoyer like me, or a Hanukkah enjoyer, or a Kwanzaa enjoyer, or just anything, anybody who enjoys these last few months of the year, the cold weather, the darkness at 5 p.m. every day, which honestly starts to get a little bit annoying after a while. But what is it? What is it for you? Let me know. And I want to thank you boys for watching. And I'll see you all later.
There was temporary bridges.